throughout the ages, religious people have been saying, oh, the final day of reckoning is coming, the world is coming to an end. And we have had that for thousands of years. There's always been some kind of prophecies of something cataclysmic going to happen, but at the end of it there would be some kind of judgment day, a great prophet will appear from the sky and sort all things out for the remaining few. Needless to say, those prophecies never really occurred very much. The only person I give a tiny bit of credibility in a certain way was Nostradamus. He had a few things that are quite interesting, but that's another topic. So, very often these cataclysmic predictions are always accompanied with some kind of great prophet appearing, some kind of great person. It's always to one person. And because of that, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people throughout history have been claiming, oh, I am that such a person who is supposed to arrive, or such and such a person was. There has been other incarnation, he's Christ who has come back, or he's Buddha who has come back, or he's the one, he's the comforter, and all kind of things like that. So, it is true though that we are living in quite unique times now. We never had a world where people could fly from one corner to the opposite corner, let's say, or they could fly around it and go all kind of places in a few hours. So we are starting to learn each other's languages, we are starting to communicate very quickly, something that can be very productive, but of course sometimes it can be somewhat destructive when a virus just goes all over the place. Now, as well, the danger posed by conflict in this particular time is of a danger which has never occurred before. What I mean to say, we got weapons that could destroy the whole surface of the earth in a few seconds. That had never occurred before. We had the plague, we had terrible things happening, but it never occurred before that it could suddenly spread to the whole planet all at once. And with these events, all these kind of conspiracies, are coming up and so forth. So in this moment of danger, in this moment of epidemics and pandemics and all kind of lunacies coming out, of course some extreme religious groups are trying to take advantage of it, saying, haha, we told you so. And it's because you don't believe what we tell you. So they are exacerbating the division. This is because you are not so and so. No, this is because you are not so and so. You have to believe this, you have to believe that. So in this moment of confusion and bewilderment, it is, give us our soul, we'll take care of you. So I'm not part of that. That is not something I like to be part of. But I do think that, yes, there is something very interesting happening in this turmoil. Something very interesting, something of very positive happening in human consciousness. And I like to share, after 52 years of meditation, travel and research, what I really feel about it. And if you don't agree with it, so what? Okay, that's good, we can all think differently. I do think that there is like a new energy coming down, a new understanding that we desperately need to bring some symmetric resolution, something where we can come together rather than destroy each other. So this kind of of energy is brimming with love, with tolerance. It's not about saying, if you don't agree with me, then you are against me and you're going to rot in hell. That is what's been going on for thousands of years, and we have seen the results. I don't think we need more than any more of that. It's also not about a one person coming, a Messiah, a prophet coming and saying, I am the one, because there are already tens of thousands claiming to be the one. The spiritual ego knows no boundaries, is even much stronger than the common ego. Oh, it's me, look, I am divine, follow me, and I'll sort everything out. So again, we are having all this sex, cursing and fighting each other. So what I think that somehow the universe is offering us at this moment is something not due to a particular religion or faith or prophet. It is something that it's very non-nominational, that is very universal. It's love, it's understanding, is intelligence given freely. And it is the reflection of what's the deepest thing within us. What do I mean with that? I think that many people that are sincerely on the spiritual path, if they go through the layers of their being, their concepts, their childhood conditioning, the hatred, the rage, the closing up that we have within us, and they start, releasing that, like peeling the onion, releasing that, what we come in touch with is a realization that that spirit that really gives us life, that truly gives us consciousness, it is something which has always been there. It is something before the creation of this world and before the creation of all the sects and the religions and the worship of a particular human being against all others. It's just love, it's understanding. So I really think that we need to start feeling something that I have to say some religious people are horrified with. Ooh, they are a universalist, my God, New Agers, curse, 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 you see. It's like demons running away from it. Oh, no, don't show me that, you see. But it really is something non-sectarian, is me accepting you with a certain loving empathy, not because you belong to my same choral, not to my same group or belief that we identify with, but I'm beginning to having loving empathy for you because you just are, and I just am. And when we can meet without all those incredible stories of my life and of humanity, of all those stories that have divided us, if we can meet from that plane where I can have loving empathy for you, just because you are here and now and I'm here and now. So we're passing by. So can we be of any help to each other? Can we make life easier on each other? And it is the understanding that this loving kindness that we discover within ourselves is much more worth than all the gold in the world. Okay? So yes, we need a clean home, we need medical facilities, we need food, we need a decent life, by all means. but it's not this grabbing, me, more, you know, and it comes in two fashions, this grasping and grabbing. One which is money, I want more of this, more of that, more of that, more of that. When I have 1 million, I want 1 billion. When I have 1 billion, I want 1 trillion. And then I die miserable. And I live miserable. Because to do that, I have to create suffering in others. But the discovery of our true essence, that essence that does not belong to any sect, this essence of pure love is what is the most important thing. Because that is what really makes our lungs breathe and our heart beat. So when we can discover that within us, and there are plenty of videos about that path in my channel, then we can start relating to each other in a different way. We can start finding the true source of contentment in the midst of so much suffering, but we can still go back to that home. And from there we can start relating to one another. That would be a very, very important step. And we also, to be able to allow this energy to manifest, and it's not about me being its prophet. I am the prophet of this energy, so are you. So is she, so is he, so is everybody. Yes? So as long as we incarnated. And one beautiful journey in my life, amongst the many that I've taken, was to study some science. And by science, to me, it's just love of nature, but as well having scientific, rigorous research. You think it's like that? You think it's like that? I think it's like this. Let's not quarrel about it. Let's research it. Let's look into it with an open mind. And if at the end it turns out to be what you say, fine, I give in. When some people believe that the universe was expanding in the 1920s, for example, and some people believe that it was static. And there were big names believing that, like Einstein. But when finally Hubble made a good telescope enough to realize and prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that it is expanding, everybody bought to it and they went, yeah, great, that is what's going to happen. That's what's happening. And we bow to truth, to facts. So to have a scientific mind doesn't mean that you make your scientific mind stronger than your heart and your spirituality, but it means that your intellect truly serves the purpose of this love. Like, for example, people accept conspiracies like that. They don't research it, nothing. Something arrives to them through WhatsApp, and immediately they start spreading it to thousands of people who then spread it to millions of people. For example, the other day, a friend sent me a WhatsApp video, an article, saying that one of the most famous virologists in the world have said that the virus was created in a particularly laboratory, in a particular place, you know. Some news that can instigate hatred, because that's what a lot of these conspiracies do. They're about instigating hatred and suspicion of one another and war. So that these scientists have said it was created in such and such a laboratory, and you have to be careful, blah, 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 blah. So nobody was questioning it. Oh, we just saw it on WhatsApp, so let's spread this stuff. A scientific mind means, and in that case I think that that's what I did, I just went on the internet, I went to the website of that scientist. And it was written in big letters. This kind of conspiracy going around the internet has got nothing whatsoever to do with me. I never said anything like it. Because that's what conspirators are doing. Saying, oh, so-and-so said that. So it must be true because so-and-so said that. And nobody has the honesty or the scientific research mind to go and find out. You know, so it is very important that we start looking for facts, but at the same time we try to clear our minds from paranoias, from innuendos, from hostility against certain groups. You see, it is very, very important in this kind of evolution, because before we believed anything, someone comes and said, oh, somebody has come during the night and told me so and so and so and so. And he has told me how the universe came about, and here is the proof that I've spoken to a higher being. So most people just bow to it and they say, okay, yeah. So, but someone with a scientific mind says, okay, you spoke to a higher being, well and good. So let me see what he said. Oh, he told you how the universe came about. So a higher being that created the universe must know exactly how to it happened. But if you have studied cosmology and you see that it's absolutely humbug, you have to have the strength within you, the power within you to question that. You see, to say, well, was that really a higher being you were talking to? You know, and so that is very, very important. To complete, I'd like to again remind you of what was the Gnostic approach. You know, the Christian Gnostics, which were then destroyed by the church, but they were a huge Christian group. So what they said, that everything is the absolute, everything is in symmetries. Okay? So the final and end energy is just pure being, where everything is happening and somehow nothing has happened. It's like the cosmological multiverse. You've got all these universes with different charges, but when you put them all together, the sum is zero. So you have nothing and everything. If you don't understand it now, don't worry. Let's move on. You will in time. So from that absolute, when you slightly move from it, there is this vibration of love. The beloved occurs, which in a way is like the creation from the womb of the absolute, which is pure love and creativity. So this beloved starts vibrating, and from that, Sophia, nature, occurs. And we know, understanding some basics of quantum, that basically all the nature we see comes from these primordial quantum waves, which then start behaving like particles, but are always in reality waves. Now, what happens at one point is that Sophia, the mother, what comes from the beloved, the real creating force of the universe, at one point she, call it he, she, okay, I use she, starts getting identified with the creation that she has brought about. And she gets so caught up that this me, I have, I want, emerges. And she forgets what her true nature is and where she came from. So from this misunderstanding, from this I, me, this power comes that creates a lot of the aspects of the universes, which is the demigod. I am a jealous God and you have to worship me. You don't worship me, you will perish forever. And a lot of our lives and of our history was formed by that kind of understanding and energy. So the time now has come to break free from these laws based on fear. If you don't worship me, you'll perish. If you don't do certain rituals, you'll perish. Anyone that doesn't believe me should be killed, and so forth. So really receiving a new energy is not, please listen to this, is not creating more of the same, but is going back. It is like the mother suddenly breaking away from this I, jealous God creation and going back to the beloved. And by absolute, it means that absolute peace, tranquility. And so to do that, you need to really rediscover that essence of love which is within all of us. And then, look at facts, then with fresh eyes, which have that love, then we can start looking at morality. Don't do unto others what we don't want others to do to us. Okay? So we then start getting another view that is not animals are there for us to treat them as we want and just as fed, as food, and our slaves in the field. But we start having respect for animals, not just for all human beings. We start having respect for the earth, the waters, the mountains, the forests, So in that sense, it starts becoming a universal kind of energy. Free as well, we have to be careful as well not to bring this conspiracies mentality into it and this pseudo-psychic thing, I've got this power, I've got that power, and you've got nothing. It's just projections of the ego, of the I. Look at me, I'm so good. What matters in this path is finding this peace and this loving presence that is so fulfilling, so that when we look outside, we don't think that in order to be, we have to steal from somebody, but we can share in a more loving and fair way, and we accept other people's beliefs. I don't know if you can hear, but there is quite a storm going out there, so it's nice. It's bringing some freshness into this warm period. So I hope that I've given you an idea of what I'm talking about, and there will be a lot more that we can share together. I've just thrown a few seeds here and there, hopefully that you'll pick them up and they'll be of some use to you. So let's keep on the journey. Let's all go home together.